accountable, don't let them hide. Every dollar spent should serve our side of the Snowy Monaro. Our hearts are home, we deserve the truth, no lies to condone.
The Thaler Derangement Syndrome is real. Previous CEO called for suspension of council over Andrew Thaler's election by Chris Chan. The document above is a page from the forthcoming council meeting agenda, where a 2 October 2024 email to staff from the previous CEO has been included. Welcome back to Monaro Zone, your trusted source for cutting through the bureaucratic farce that is the Snowy Monaro Regional Council. Today, we're diving into something so laughably absurd, so pathetic, that you'd swear it was satire. But no, this is real, straight from the council's own business papers. Let's talk about Thaler Derangement Syndrome. Andrew Thaler, a man elected by the people, for the people. And what happens the moment he steps forward to publicize his election? The former CEO of the Snowy Monaro Regional Council has a full-blown meltdown, calling for either the suspension of the entire council or Thaler himself. That's right. A taxpayer-funded bureaucrat so unhinged at the thought of democracy in action that he urged the minister to pull the plug on the whole thing. And his justification? Because Andrew Thaler was planning to show up to his new workplace. How could this be so? From all I have heard, the former CEO, David Hogan, was a good man, but new to the position and the SMRC. Given that he was new in the job as CEO and had never met Andrew Thaler, he must have been relying on other long-standing senior council officers to provide him with advice. It does seem that Thaler Derangement Syndrome may have been, and still is, widespread throughout the council offices. It is unfortunate that Mr. Hogan did not meet Andrew Thaler and form his own judgment. Unfortunately, a climate of fear about the danger of Andrew Thaler had been set in place and appears to have been cultivated as far back as at least 2018, when a motion to exclude him from council premises was passed. Much of Councillor Thaler's danger was illusory. While stories about the threat he posed were spread by council staff, there were few facts to back up the myth. Now, let's not just talk about it, let's read it. This is an actual email sent by the former CEO, David Hogan, on October 2nd, 2024 at 9:08 a.m. Listen to this over-the-top response to a non-existent threat.
Dear all, please note the following social media post by Redacted below. He is organizing a rally of supporters to attend the SMRC Council building today. This clearly articulates a threat to witness this event. We are meeting with police at 10 a.m. and we already have security on site. I intend to lock the council building down from 1 p.m. to protect staff or have staff leave and work from home after lunch, etc. Quite clearly, his behavior is going to worsen on his election. I urge the OLG to consider an immediate suspension of this council, or this individual, on the basis that this is unacceptable behavior of an elected councillor. A suspension of council to allow for an additional safety and security review and allow time for additional security measures to be in place is warranted, and seek the New South Wales government's support in doing so. Can we arrange to discuss any time between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.? David.
Let's be clear. The CEO contacted the minister because democracy was happening around his council building. Andrew Thaler, a democratically elected councillor, posted that he would be sworn in outside the council premises and invited the public to witness it. Mr. Hogan's response was to call the cops, lock the doors, and create fear among council staff. Who could have been advising Mr. Hogan, who had been in position for less than a year, to do this? It could only have been one or more senior council staff members who had a long-term history with Andrew Thaler. This limits the options. Monaro Zone readers and listeners who know the senior staff can draw their own conclusions. Another key question is, why did the interim CEO, Stephen Dunshay, put this email into the council papers? Could he have been trying to throw the previous CEO under the bus? What exactly was the threat here? That the people of Snowy Monaro might actually get the representation they voted for? That someone not in the council's inner clique might dare to ask questions? Let's face it, it is not as though the CEO didn't have real issues to deal with. The continued lack of investigation over the Cooma water tank collapse, the Yallumbee aged care divestment, and the council's perilous financial position. It is a warning to everyone that a prevailing view in the council community may not necessarily be a correct one. As always, CEOs have an obligation to follow the facts, not the vibe. Let's also read what Andrew Thaler actually posted that sent the CEO into a full alarm mode.
Special event this afternoon, 2 p.m. Kuma CBD, 81 Commissioner Street, Kuma. I have been elected a councillor for the Snowy Monaro Regional Council. Today I shall become a councillor. Please come along and witness this event. We are stronger together. I will not let the corrupt media prevent the people from their elected representative taking up the role and doing the things that need to be done. Not even 2GB nor Fairfax Media can stop this.
That's it. That's the threat that justified locking down council and begging the minister to intervene. The mere presence of the public outside the Kuma Council building sent the council into a tailspin. You couldn't make this up. And here's the kicker. We only have access to this document thanks to the independent councillors who voted for this material to be made public at the first meeting in October. If not for them, this would have been swept under the rug like so much else. The Hannah Gang continue to vote to ensure that there is no transparency, and council documents are neither made available to councillors nor the public. Why exactly has the Hannah Gang fought tooth and nail to keep everything confidential? Because if you, the public, knew what they were actually doing and what was happening behind the scenes with people in senior council positions, the whole rotten structure would collapse. See you at the 20th of February 2024, where hopefully the remaining incumbents take a page from their former CEO's playbook and resign. Thanks for joining us on Monaro Zone. Stay tuned, stay informed, and as always, hold them accountable. If they're afraid of you, you're doing something right. Catch you next time.
Should serve our side of the Snowy Monaro. Our hearts are home. We deserve the truth, no lies to condone. We're the voices they can't take.